Rumors had been spreading for weeks in Addis Ababa about strange clouds and men falling sick where no bullets had struck. In the market, mothers clutched children with blistered faces. At the university, doctors whispered that this was not ordinary battle trauma. It was chemical burns, the work of gas. News like that moved slowly into capitals, but what arrived next moved faster. Pilots returning from the front spoke of canisters dropped from the air, of a pale yellow film settling on fields and on the flocks. To understand how those rumors became a global scandal, you must go back to October 1935, when Benito Mussolini ordered Italy's modern war machine into Abyssinia, Ethiopia, intent on imperial glory. Italy's army boasted tanks and aircraft. Ethiopia fought with rifles, spears, and courage. The unequal contest might have been brutal enough, but it was joined by a quieter, darker instrument of war: mustard gas, a chemical banned by international treaties after the carnage of World War I. Eyewitnesses, medics, and diplomats collected fragments of evidence: burned skin that oozed for days, scorched livestock, pilots' logs noting gas dispersal, and terrified refugees whose clothes were ruined by a smell they could not forget. Ethiopian officials documented civilians choking and convulsing. When Emperor Haile Selassie addressed the League of Nations in Geneva in June 1936, he did not merely beg for sympathy, he presented a charge that should have shattered the decade's fragile peace. Italy had used poison gas against soldiers and civilians. Instead of full-throated condemnation and decisive action, what followed resembled collusion by omission. Britain and France, alarmed at Hitler's rise and hoping to secure Mussolini as a counterweight, moved toward a shameful compromise. Behind closed doors, foreign ministers sketched the contours of a deal that would carve up Ethiopia to satisfy Italy and preserve European equilibrium. The draft, later exposed as the Laval Pact, read like a betrayal. Great powers proposing to reward aggression rather than enforce the norms they had supposedly sworn to protect. The conspiracy was not a single secret handshake, but a tangle of diplomatic choices, deliberate silences, and bureaucratic reluctance. Evidence of gas use was systematically minimized in public statements. Investigations, when launched, were stymied by limited mandates or political interference. Pressures from Whitehall and Quai d'Orsay discouraged reporters and league officials from pursuing leads that might complicate an already precarious balance of power. Satanic rhetoric from Rome, that Italy was civilizing Africa, was allowed to obscure the human cost on the ground. When the Laval plan leaked, public outrage forced its abandonment and the resignation of the British Foreign Secretary, Samuel Hoare. But the moral damage had been done. Sanctions imposed by the League were half-hearted and quickly undermined. Italy consolidated control over Ethiopia by May 1936. The Italian campaign left tens of thousands dead, whole communities devastated, and a legacy of suffering for generations. General tactics included not only chemical attacks, but also machine gunning of refugees and deliberate destruction of food supplies. Decades later, historians reconstructed the contours of the conspiracy: a collision of imperial ambition, fear of a larger war, and the choice by established powers to sacrifice principle to short-term geopolitics. The Ethiopian catastrophe exposed the League's impotence and the hollowness of legal commitments when political interest intrudes. For Ethiopians, it was not abstract policy. It was fathers, mothers, and children burned by gas, whole villages displaced, and an emperor appealing to a world that turned away. The story of Poison in the Sky is a lesson in how international systems can be manipulated, how evidence can be sidelined, and how the worst of technology, chemical warfare, can be paired with the worst of diplomacy, appeasement, to create a conspiracy with real human consequences. Today, when we read Haile Selassie's words and see archival photographs and reports, The rumors that began in Addis Ababa no longer seem like rumor at all. They are the first notes of a long cry for justice that the world, at the time, refused to hear. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button